You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Farris. How you doing, Dan?
Pretty good. Thanks for letting me be on the John and Heidi Show.
Yeah, well,
we're
glad
welcome.
to have you here.
Always a pleasure.
It's
Are
the
you
bonus
kidding me?
hour with
It
Dan
is
Farris.
quite
so.
the prestigious place to be.
It sure is.
People come up to me all the time. They go, Dan, number one, we thought you were dead. I go, no, I'm not. What are you doing these days? I kind of elbow my way into the John and Heidi Show. And I big shot them.
That's cool.
That's nice.
Happens all the time.
Love it.
I love it.
Just
Yeah,
kind of
it's
look down at their own shoes, and while they're mumbling to themselves, I walk away. It's
good.
awesome.
Usually takes in the neighborhood of an hour.
Yeah, what the heck's going on? Oh, I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? National treasure Chuck Norris is 81 today.
Holy
Really?
cow.
81.
You know what?
Still
bet-
pretty spry.
I bet he
He
could
is.
still whoop my tail, too.
I don't
I know he could.
doubt that even a little bit. Let's see what else going. Osama bin Laden would have been 63 today, but SEAL Team 6 threw him a little surprise party, and he died of excitement.
I don't think it was quite that. but, yeah.
1862, the very first U.S. paper money is issued.
Really?
These were the denominations: 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s, 500s, and 1000s.
Really?
$1,000 bills. I don't know if those were still in circulation when I was a kid or not, but how cool would that be?
That
It would be really
super
cool.
cool.
They were typically not in circulation. That was for like transfers from one bank to another.
Right.
The 500, the 1,000, like that's what most of those were used
It would be
for.
cool. I'd love to just waltz a $1,000 bill into like a shopping cart and buy a pack of gum.
I'm going to need change.
Hang on a
back.
second.
Watch the clerk's head blow up. And gosh, that's about it. That's all I brought to this particular party. So,
Oh, wow. That was quick.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Dan.
Surgical, man.
We'll have you back in here in a bit. We've got Ranger Dan coming in with his, what is it called, Critter Corner. We also have some other fun stuff. I'm going to be chatting with, who am I talking to, Heidi? I told you a minute ago.
I don't know. I
Tom
don't
Henderson.
listen to you.
I know you don't. Tom Henderson from ResGen going to be talking about Parents' Night. It's coming up this Friday. All the details in a bit.
Not all credit cards are created equally. Some cards have higher rates, some have annual fees, some are just not very good. Often people will sign up for these because that's all they qualify for. But if you've done that, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation can change. Then you could qualify for a better credit card, one that offers you a better rate, or one that offers miles, points, cash back, or whatever is the best fit for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I love to wrestle bears and lasso ducks, run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Oh, faith and begor at the top of the morning.
You're a week early.
Well, you know, you got St. Patty's Day coming up, and you know, little Radio Rangers at home, and you, John and Heidi, especially you, Heidi. I got a little Irish in the blood here, so
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
Ranger O'Danny is going to be working on a little critter news from the Isle of Ireland.
Nice.
The Green Isle. They've got critters of their own over there, and some are a little bit unusual. Of course, the big story is in St. Patrick's Day, we celebrate because St. Patrick scooted all the snakes out of Ireland.
Right.
Yeah, not a snake to be found.
Scooted them on out of there, and you may or may not know this, but before he was canonized as a saint, he was actually Ranger Pat.
Was he really?
Ireland's answer to Ranger Dan.
I did not know this.
True story. Let's take a look. Indigenous critters to the great country of Ireland. The pygmy shrew.
Oh, really? That's where they're from.
The pygmy shrew. It's a tiny little shrew. In fact, from nose to tail, they only get to be about 4 inches long.
Holy
Oh,
cow.
cute.
But they're hyper little buggers, and you like the Irish brogue? Let's see how long I can keep this up.
I do.
I'm already breaking a sweat. So you got this little shrew.
Yeah. A baby shrew.
Busy little varmint. Got it.
I don't know what just happened.
Got it. Has to eat it. And He's in Ireland.
Yeah.
And he's a shrew. Yeah. He's a pygmy. So he's got 3 strikes against him right out of the gate. This shrew has to eat its own body weight every single day. Its metabolism is so high-strung, and yet they're very territorial, and they're kind of alone creatures.
So this little guy eats his own body weight every day?
Eats his own body weight every day. He's got to keep on the
thing.
move because every other predator on that island is looking to snack on a little baby shrew. You're carnivores, if you will. Carnivores, that's French for meat eaters.
Very nice.
Write this down, little Radio Rangers. We're learning a lot here, a lot more than I'd intended when I wrote this thing.
And some of it's even accurate.
The pygmy shrew is very good at hiding as well. Again, predators. Unless, like the Irish want to do, unless he's liquored up, then he'll face down anything that looks at him wrong, which keeps the pygmy shrew population in check.
Wow.
Well, that's all the time we have, and I wish it would have been a lot shorter now that I think about it. Radio Ranger, so Ranger O'Danny will be back tomorrow for more. In the meantime,
I just looked him up. He's super cute.
Who,
he
Ranger
is
Dan
super
or
cute.
Saving of the
Pygmy
Shrew?
Look,
Oh, he is adorable.
it's so cute.
Can we get one?
Stay in school. Go to church, long as it's Catholic or Protestant. We don't need any trouble. Say your prayers. Eat your vegetables. Don't be playing soccer. Don't let me catch you where. Crocs, this is Ranger O'Danny out. Yes, sir.
Ranger O'Danny's Critter Corner.
Drinking too much can ruin your life. Alcohol and drug issues can cause problems at work, at home, and pretty much everywhere. If substance abuse has taken over your life and you want to quit, there is help. TimeForRehab.com could be the first step in the right direction for you. TimeForRehab.com would love to help you find a new life beyond addiction. Your insurance company may even cover the cost to help make this happen. You can learn more now at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Time now for Water Cooler Talk, brought to you by Aqua One. Mr. Dan Farris back in the studio here with some. What do we have today? Is this good news?
I'm kind of staying with a little Irish theme here.
Oh, cool.
Today. You know, the 41st annual St. Patrick's Day blowout and parade downtown this Saturday.
Yeah.
41st annual. Holy cow.
Yeah.
We've been doing this a while.
Sylvia Hankins started that thing years and years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in that. I think I've been in it 7 times over the years. Anyway, an O'Gorman senior student, high school senior, has been named the 2020 Miss Shamrock by the Sioux Falls Irish Club. Yes, there is such a thing. In fact, the parade here in Sioux Falls, St. Patrick's Day, the biggest is in, I want to say it's in New York. Boston is a big one. St. Paul, Minnesota does a huge parade. But I think the one in Sioux Falls ranks like in the top 5 parades across the country.
Okay.
That's how big it is.
Nice.
Wow.
We've been a part of this in the past.
We have.
Maybe we'll figure it out.
Kiera Botel, 17 years old, crowned in conjunction with the painting of the Shamrock. That happens at 11 o'clock in the morning this Saturday, corner of 9th Street and Phillips Avenue. Botel will then participate in the parade. That gets underway at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
The corner of 13th and Phillips, and they kind of grind it to a halt down around 5th or so.
Yeah. Cruising through and throwing out Shamrock shakes and gold coins. None of that? They don't do any of that?
Downtown parties for this thing. Huge.
It's a big deal.
Huge.
It's crazy to me how, like, I remember one year we went through, there were literally snowflakes flying. That's how cold it was. Another time we went through, I got
I think
sunburned.
it's going to be pretty chilly
I got,
this year, too.
like, a big-time sunburn. It was so hot.
I think the first year I did it, and that was probably in either 89 or 90. There was several feet of snow on the ground.
Isn't that crazy?
And still the Phillips was just lined with people.
We just never know, what it's going to be like. So I guess we'll see. If you'd like to know what the weather's going to be like, it is a week from today. That's St. Patrick's Day. When is the parade? It's this weekend?
It's this Saturday.
This Saturday, okay. Well, SiouxFallsWeather.com has like a 7-day forecast. They're already telling you what it's like. I have not peeked ahead because, well, that's several days from now. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to be visiting with Tom from Restoration Generation, ResGen's Parents' Night. It's a comedy event coming up this weekend. All the details in a bit.
If you grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you should consider joining us for this amazing vacation.
My wife and I have been to this event the last 3 years, and we've had a blast.
Join us at the Sands.
Hear amazing music from Billy Idol,
Cheap Trick,
Belinda Carlisle,
Little River Band,
The Hooters,
Tesla,
Howard Jones,
and many more.
Plus, meet awesome stars from movies and TV.
It's the best week ever.
Learn more right now at thesands.rocks.
That's thesands.rocks.
We have Tom Henderson joining us right now. He's got an event coming up this Friday. It's the ResGen Parents Night 2020. Tom, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, John. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Now, tell me about the event that's going to be happening this Friday at Central Church.
Well, yeah. So this will be our first parenting event that we've added to the ResGen slate of annual events, and so we're very excited about how it all came together. But I first got to say it's interesting that it's falling on Friday the 13th.
It is
which is a date that's commonly known as like Scary Day, right, with the movie and all that kind of stuff. And in many ways, parenting and just working with kids and students on the whole sometimes can seem like a pretty daunting and scary situation in and of itself. And so, our hope is as we draw parents together of kids that of all ages, by the way. I mean, it's not just teenagers. The focus of the night is really looking at the phases in kids' lives and then the role that we play as adults in each one of those phases. And so the exciting thing is we've got people that don't even have kids yet that are coming. That's people, of course, that have kids of all different ages. We've got grandparents that just want to be heavily involved in their grandkids' lives. We have mentors and educators coming that just want to know more what's going on in kids' lives and in the generation of students that we have. And so it's ResGen Parents Night this Friday, March 13th from 7 to 10 p.m., and as everything ResGen does, we really want it to be fun and energetic, and so we always mix the great content with great comedy as well.
Yeah.
And so we're very excited to have Stuart Hall as our main speaker for the night, a comedian by the name of Dustin Nickerson, who was in town this past fall and just did a phenomenal job making people laugh, and then I'll be hosting the night.
That's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's all coming up this Friday. If I'd like to get tickets, are there still some available?
You bet. Yeah, tickets are at my website, resgen.org, resgen.org. And they're only $12 a person. Everything that we do, we really strive to make it affordable, available, accessible to everybody. And so $12 a person covers the night, and it's just going to be a great time of content, of conversation, of comedy, and then hopefully even just connecting parents together to just remind them, hey, look, you're not in the journey alone,
Absolutely.
And we all have questions, and we're all just trying to seek to be the best parents and the best influencers we can of the kids that have been entrusted to us. And so that's what it's about. It's about connecting parents and saying, oh, okay, you know what? You have that issue too, or you have that question, and let's learn together.
Now, this is an event for parents. Would we bring kids to this as well, or not necessarily?
No. This is for parents. We actually, it's a great question. There's no child care provided, so you're going to want to make sure that you get your kids taken care of, all that kind of thing, and then come on out for a great night. And so it'll be adults only.
Very, very nice. But it's going to be a great night. It's coming up this Friday, Restoration Generation with ResGen Parents Night 2020, a night of education, comedy, and encouragement for parents. All of the information available on their website, resgen.org. And then we're going to throw an information link on our Facebook page as well. Tom, thank you for all that you do, sir.
All right, John. Thanks, brother.
Again, it's coming up this Friday. All the details on their page, resgen.org.
Not all credit cards are created equally. Some cards have higher rates, some have annual fees, some are just not very good. Often people will sign up for these because that's all they qualify for. But if you've done that, it may be time to get a better credit card. Over time, your situation can change. Then you could qualify for a better credit card, one that offers you a better rate, or one that offers miles, points, cash back, or whatever is the best fit for you. Check it out for free at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for some entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Give it up. Celebrities are fabulous. Just a quick little update on that big cockroach, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh.
Get into it.
He's still in the news?
Well,
yeah.
he got convicted of 2 counts so far. And he was supposed to go right to Rikers Island, but then there's a little medical snafu, ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, now he is actually rooming with 2 older inmates at Rikers.
Okay.
But he fell down and hit his head.
Oh.
He decided to take a stroll without. Yes, he was pushed. Are you kidding me? So apparently, as they're bringing him back in for medical stuff or something along those lines.
You're saying they're not fans of him in there?
You know what?
I have a feeling there are a lot of very powerful people that don't want this guy.
Saying no more?
No.
It's going to be interesting.
He's probably going to Epstein himself.
You just...
Meanwhile, what's going on at the box office?
Yeah, what is going on?
And I know you've met these guys. You've hung with these guys. The Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
The movie is at number 9 coming out of this past weekend.
I'm glad they're in the top 10 at least. That's awesome. It was a very good movie.
Well, it's made $9.5 million so far.
Here's the thing I got to say about that. If you like the show, you'll love the movie.
Oh, yeah, for
If you
sure.
don't like the show, you're not going to like
of
the
course
movie.
not.
It's like a long episode of the show, but really good.
Birds of Prey at number 8, $82 million so far. Bad Boys for Life, the 3rd installment of that thing. Holy cow. It's just cracked over $200 million since its release. Then Emma. You familiar with Emma? It looks really good. I've seen the trailers for it. Emma, of course, was originally a book by Jane Austen.
Okay.
Published in 1815 when I was a toddler.
You're not that old.
Sometimes I like a good period piece. Sometimes, if it's done correctly, and it's not doing great. 6.8 million in its opening weekend. So, Call of the Wild with what's his name?
Harrison Ford.
Thank you. Clocks in at 7 mil over the weekend.
Not doing well. That's set to lose a bunch of
But
money.
almost 57 million so far in the past 3 weeks. Sonic the Hedgehog, which I just don't get, but holy cow, 140 million, 141 million so far.
I did an interview with Lee Majdoub yesterday.
Why wouldn't
on
you?
the radio, because he's in that movie. That's why I'm mentioning it. He's one of the
You mean
stars.
his voice is?
No, he's in it. He's the sidekick with Jim Carrey. So he's Jim Carrey's like sidekick.
This thing isn't animated? I have no idea.
Oh, the
one
Sonic is animated.
character, but everybody else is live.
Oh, I
action.
see.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so,
All right.
Kind of like Space Jam was. Remember Space Jam? There was cartoon characters and then
It's
actors.
not really
and-
like that, but yeah.
Wow.
It's a mix.
A reboot of The Invisible Man.
Betty Boop was. Remember Betty Boop?
I don't
Sorry,
know.
Dan.
I get my entertainment just like staring at a wall wondering why I got up. That's
Hours of fun.
that's what I do. Invisible Man at $52 million. Onward, that's the new Pixar one, right?
Yeah, that's... Was that number 1?
Opening weekend, but to the penny, $40 million.
Wow.
To the penny. So
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's gonna.
The kid movies always
That's
come
the
out
top
on
spot.
top.
They do that as the top spot.
Can I predict who's going to be number 1 this weekend?
Tell me.
I predict this coming weekend, it's going to be a faith-based film. This coming weekend
You think it's going to be number 1?
I think that'll be the number 1 movie this coming weekend.
I think you are wrong.
I think it'll do really,
It's gonna
really
be
well.
What else
Lovely,
is
but I
out
think
there?
you're wrong.
I'll put it in the top 3. I don't think it's going to ace out
I think it's
the
going to.
Pixar
I don't think so.
one.
It won't.
The
it won't
Pixar's
pix
already
out
open.
the-
So if you wanted to go, you had this whole week
it still
to
won't.
go.
The kid movie will still top it. It always does.
He'll get mad. You know how he gets.
Oh, I know, and he's going to raise his voice on
I'm
the
going to
radio.
I'm going to tell Kevin Downs what you're saying. lady. He's the one of the guys in the movie. So no, we're going to be chatting with him, I believe, on Friday. See, I never promote this in advance because now what happens if I don't get to make that call?
Yeah, now you look like a big fat liar.
I know. I'm not
Plus, you're
trying to.
plus, you're going to lose this little bet of yours.
I don't want
too,
to bet.
so.
I'm way overextending myself right now.
It's only Tuesday, and you're halfway to Loserville, John.
I sure hope not. Well, thanks for coming in, Dan.
Hey, my pleasure, buddy.
Why don't you just go give me a wedgie on the schoolyard next?
Oh, wow. My finger and my thumb, shape of an L on my forehead.
That's me. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris.
See ya.